What's up guys, welcome to the Sound Design channel. My name is La and today we're going to look at a synth stab in Serum. So let's have a little look at what I'm working on. Cool, so it's a very nice, clean sound. It's very useful to use as a lead or something like that. I did show a video on this on Diva where I use it more as a bass, but this is a bit more of a lead kind of mid element. So the MIDI itself is taken from a MIDI pack by Ben Boma. Well, not just a MIDI pack, but it's his entire pack, and this is the MIDI that came with it. So this is one of the plucks. It's taken from Times, and we'll have a look. This is the MIDI itself before I adjusted it. So I kept the rhythm the same, but I just adjusted the notes so that it was in my scale, which is real simple to do. I just put the scaler on and then just moved them until they sounded nice, essentially. And then just moved the space in between them as well, just to mix it up a little bit. So that's it for the MIDI. Now let's have a look at the sound. So as you can see, it's in Serum, and the sound is taken from the pack by FurCloud, and it's the Inner Bloom pack. Really, really nice sound called Radiance, this pluck sound. So when I was looking through the sounds to try and find something to fit, I just wanted something that was nice and harmonically rich, but not too in your face, still nice and like short and yeah, just like pretty sounding essentially. So what I'm going to do is actually just deconstruct this sound and go through what each of the things are doing within this patch essentially. So if we just take off the oscillators and we listen to this in solo, just solo this, yeah. So now all we've got is this noise oscillator coming through. I can actually turn that off as well. So first we want to engage this sawtooth, which is just in the basic waves. And what he's done is he has detuned it, or used some unison to spread the voices within that sawtooth, and it's just going to make it feel a lot wider. And then he just decreased the detune. If you don't decrease the detune, you get it basically detunes. The voices are kind of like clashing with each other essentially. So you need to decrease this. Because 0 would be none at all, but then you wouldn't really hear the different voices. So you kind of want to find a little sweet spot here essentially. And without the voices of unison, it's a lot more mono. You can hear it's like more center. So you want that unison. You can go to 4, 5. You could go crazy, go to 16 if you like. But yeah, that's just giving us a nice body essentially. And then this next oscillator is adding just a little bit more of an upper tone, I guess. So if we have a little listen to it. It's really subtle, but it adds just a little bit more to the sound. But it's not doing too much at all. It's just like a little bit more. Okay, so now I want to look at the filters. So within the filter section, we have this MG24. So if I take off the filter, the sound is just allowed to be all the way through with no filter essentially. So it's a bit of a strong filter. And then there's a little bit of drive here. Without the drive, yeah, it just adds a little bit of drive to the sound. It just makes it a little bit louder and a bit more full. So he's actually, this S stands for the sub, and the sub is not being used for this, but the noise oscillator and then these two oscillators are being engaged. That's why these lights are on here. So we go down to the noise oscillator and we turn it back on. And that's just adding like a very small amount of like white noise just to the end of the sound. Especially would be evident when you open the sound up, which you could do at any point, in the track, like as it's working through. So we'll leave it where it was here. So the important stuff within the sound, and the same with a lot of sounds, is within the envelopes. So the first envelope is not overly important for this sound. But what is important, I guess, is that the attack is quite quick and it's got this kind of medium decay. So it's just making sure that the sound's coming through quickly as opposed to it being like this. So it's important to have a quick attack for your initial envelope, but then to add a bit of a a bite to the sound, you want to use a second envelope here with a reference. It's really giving it that dump dump. So with this plucky short envelope, we actually want to attach it to this envelope, oh sorry, the filter here, which has already been done, and then you just want to adjust it essentially to make sure that you're getting the right amount of pluck. So let's have a little listen. So it's like really about finding that sweet spot. So that's just gonna open the cutoff up a little bit just with this kind of envelope, this really short envelope, and that's essentially what's happening there. We go to the effects, we have a look at here. Pretty important stuff actually. We've got some multi-band compression, so this is containing the sound a little bit but also bringing out elements of the sound, so like the high end in the sound and things like that. So we'll have a little look A-B. So you can hear that it is quieter, yes, but it's also being contained a little bit more, and you can hear a little bit, yeah, a bit of air in the sound. It's just bringing out the kind of the white noise a little bit more. So yeah, with these settings, it's just basically the multiband compression that you engage here. Put it at 50%, and then the threshold is not super harsh. It's like, yeah, reasonable. A little bit of ratio, and then the attack and release is pretty gentle as well, so it's not really harsh. And then a little bit of gain. You can go a bit further with the gain and add some more volume, you know, to make up for what you've lost there. But for me, I've got it all balanced out within my channels externally. So the next thing is a bit of delay. Delay is just to make it feel like it doesn't die off too abruptly. So if we take off the delay, I've actually got a filter delay as well, which I'll show you afterwards. But yeah, it's just adding a little bit of a tail to the sound. A little bit of feedback there, and I just filter down a little bit of the sound because I don't want to delay the real lows because it can muddy out the mix a little bit. The next thing is just a little bit of reverb. The reverb is pretty standard, just making sure that I'm EQing out the lows as well because I don't want too much side low information, and it's just adding a bit of a sense of space to the sound. That's it. Simple as that. So next thing we're going to look at is just some external processing. Nothing crazy here. Just got a harsh EQ to make sure we're not getting any lows in there. Very standard stuff. And then just a gentle side chain to the kick. Really gentle, so I'm really not trying to like compress the sound too much. So we'll look at this filter delay. I've used this filter delay chain for many things within the track. I used it to send some drums to and things like that, and then I recorded it, which I'll actually show you here. It's quite a cool little effect you can do. So that's literally just my whole drum group being sent this big reverb filter thing. So I had this all the way up at 100% with this large shimmer on and this filter delay. So I just sent it all the way through there, recorded the audio from this channel here, and then I've got this cool like ear candy effect that I can use here and there. So yeah, I just wanted to show that. But that's what this stab is going through as well, but with the shimmer off, because I didn't want too much reverb within the sound. I just wanted the delay essentially. So this is what you've got coming through. So that's what's being created here. Oh, with this reverb off. Yeah, that's it. Simple as that. It's just giving it a little bit more because the notes are being spaced out quite a lot. There's a bit of a gap in between. I don't mind having a bit of delay of the sound in between, but if it was like a really quick ARP where the notes were playing really close together, I wouldn't have so much delay because it would just clutter up essentially. So yeah, that's it for the sound. I hope this was helpful. Apologise that I sound a little bit sick. I will be better next week, hopefully. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you let us know in the comments and you like and subscribe and support the channel the best way that you can. And yeah, I'll see you next week for another video. Peace.